All right, in this video, we're going to talk about the discriminant, which is kind of part of the quadratic formula. And I've told you some things about this in some of the prior videos already, but this is just kind of a simple, straightforward video about just the discriminant. I'll try to stick to the topic. So the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. It comes from this part of the, I'll just make some little dots here. It comes from this part of the quadratic formula, the part under the square root. Now, if the quadratic formula gives you solutions to an equation in standard form with ax squared plus bx plus c, if the quadratic formula gives you those solutions, well, what does the discriminant tell us about those solutions? If b squared minus 4ac is positive, then we're going to be able to take a square root of some positive number and we actually get solutions. We get negative b plus or minus this value. So we wind up with two solutions if b squared minus 4ac is positive. So b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. That means two solutions. If b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, if it's equal to 0 when we go over the quadratic formula, that means we're not going to be adding or subtracting anything. So we're just going to have negative b over 2a as our solution. So that means one solution. And then if b squared minus 4ac is negative or less than 0, well, if it's negative, it's underneath the square root. If it's negative and it's underneath the square root, we can't take the square root of it. There's no number for that. So that implies no solutions. Okay. Now, similarly, if we look at a graph, we're talking about the x-intercepts or the roots. All right. So instead of talking about solutions, we'll be talking about x-intercepts or roots. So solutions could also mean x-intercepts, same thing, or could mean roots. Roots and intercepts, roots and x-intercepts are identical. It's just another vocabulary word. Roots, x-intercepts, exactly the same. So if we're talking about a graph, the graph here in the first scenario would have, let me do a little different color here. The graph here in the first scenario would have, it would go through the x-axis twice, two solutions. The graph here in the second scenario would go through the x-axis just once, or not through it, it would just touch it, right? It would just touch the x-axis. And then in the third scenario, it wouldn't even hit it. That'd be no solutions, no roots, okay? So the discriminant tells you all those things. Let's just do a couple of examples here. So let's try y equals x, 2x squared. Y equals 2x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so b is equal to 4, a is equal to 2, c is equal to 3. Or a is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 3. So the discriminant, b squared, that's 16, that's 4 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 3. Okay. Let's see, 4 times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. Therefore, this is negative. Therefore, no solutions, no roots. Okay, if this is a graph, right? So no roots, no roots. Doesn't cross the x-axis. Okay. Next one, y equals 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. Okay, now a is 3, b is negative 8, b is negative 8, not just 8, negative 8, and c is 4. Now it doesn't matter that b is negative 8 because we're just going to do the b squared. So b squared is 64 minus 4 times 3 times 4. 4 times 3 times 4 is less than 64. So this is positive. So this is 2 roots. Okay, 2 roots. All right, let's do another one. Y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, we have 1, 2, and 1 as our numbers. So b squared is 4 minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is another 1. So this equals 0. So that means 1 root. All right, whoop. That means 1 root. Okay, that means that the graph of this thing is going to touch the x-axis just once. That's what it means. Okay, it has to do that. All right, it can't touch it twice. It can't go through it, and it's going to touch it. That's what having 1 root means. So let's do some with some minus signs. Y equals negative 4 x squared minus x plus 3. Okay, so those negative signs go along with your a, b, and c. So a is negative 4, b is negative 1, c is 3. So b squared, that's 1, minus 4 times a. Okay, a is negative 4, so I'm going to put a 4 here. I'm going to change the plus sign to a minus sign. Or rather, change the minus sign to a plus sign because we have a negative. And then multiply by c, which is 3. All right, we're adding 2 things. This is definitely positive. I don't have to even determine what it is. There are 2 roots or 2 solutions. Okay, here's another one. Here's more minus signs. Negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so a is negative 2, b is 3, c is negative 4. So let's see, b squared is 9 minus 4 times a, which is negative 2. So negative 2, I'm going to make this a plus sign. I'm going to put a 2 here. Times c, which is negative 4. I'm going to put a 4 here. I'm going to put another, I'm going to stick a minus sign in there again. Okay, so 9 minus something bigger than 9. 16, 30, 32. 9 minus 32, definitely negative. Definitely negative. Therefore, there are no solutions, no roots. All right. That means this thing, well, here, looking at this graph, think about this for a second. This graph, let's see, it has a y-intercept of negative 4, and it's pointing down. And it's not going to go through the x-axis. So it's either going to be, but just knowing that, it's either going to be like this or it's going to be like this, right? If you did negative b over 2a and determine where this is, you can kind of tell again pretty quickly. But just from that, you know it's not going to cross that x-axis. There are no roots. Okay, I'll come back with another video that will kind of answer some different types of questions with us. But the basic thing is that the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, tells you how many solutions there are based on whether it is greater than 0, 0, or less than 0. How many solutions to equation, or how many times it crosses the x-axis for a graph. Those two are synonymous things.